Hi, I'm Joe. Photography is a big part of my life, and it has been for a long time. When I was 4, my family was involved in a car accident where my dad lost his life. This is my favorite photograph of the two of us together. As you can see, it's not the highest quality print. It was taken with a cheap disposable camera, but to this day, it's still one of my favorite photographs. This YouTube channel is going to be about photography in general and anything revolving around photography that interests me or brings me joy. I'm going to share photographs that I've personally taken that I'm proud of in the hopes that maybe they will spark some creativity inside of you, motivate you to get out and shoot, or just reinvigorate your love for photography. I think about photography every day. I watch a lot of photography videos on YouTube and I listen to photography podcasts. I read photography articles. I'm sure you do a lot of that as well. I'm getting a little bit tired of a lot of the videos and the content that's being put out on YouTube, and that's because a lot of it is gear reviews, and gear reviews have their place and they can be super helpful, especially when creators create tutorials for how to use specific gear. But I didn't start taking photos just because I loved comparing lenses and doing lens tests. I'm kind of bored of knowing whether the Sigma lens is sharper than the latest Sony G Master lens. It just doesn't interest me that much, and it's not why I got into photography. It's not what I love about photography. And there isn't a ton of YouTube channels out there that just talk about the love of photography. There are a few, and some of them are really great. But I'm just hoping that I can add value to the community and provide another space where we can talk about photographic topics other than what Nikon's newest camera is, or when Canon's gonna release the latest and greatest camera. One of the photographic genres that I'm most passionate about is documentary family photography. So I take a lot of these types of photos with my own family, and then sometimes people also hire me to take photos of their families. When you think of family photography, you might just think of it as going to the park during sunset, doing a handful of poses and getting those kind of beautiful posed shots where everyone's looking at the camera. Maybe there's a few where they're looking away. But documentary family photography is a little bit different. When you take this style of photograph, you're not really a director, you're more of an observer. So I spend time with families, I follow them around while they do fun activities or interact with each other, and you're pretty much capturing candid photographs. So I do this a lot with my own family when we have family get-togethers or we go somewhere, have some sort of party. I take a lot of candid photographs. People seem to really like them. I really like them. They bring me a lot of joy, and I think it's worth talking about. I don't see a lot of content out there talking about documentary style family photography, so I wanted to contribute to the space. I'm gonna let you take a look at a photograph I took when I documented a family's trip to the beach. What I like about this photograph is it captures the little girl's personality. She loves to read, has a hard time putting down a book. When it's dinner time, she wants to keep reading at the dinner table, and even on the walk down to the beach, she's still trying to read a few more pages before she gets there. So I like that this photograph captures that moment and captures that personality, and years from now, the family can look back and remember that she loved to read and that she had a really hard time putting that book down. I also chose to make this photograph in black and white because the landscape was pretty uninteresting and boring, and I thought it would help the viewer focus on the subject, the girl, and not be distracted by any of the colors or anything in the background, because that wasn't really what was important. What was important is telling the story, showing her personality and showing that She, at this moment in time, she loves to read and just can't stop reading. She can't put a book down. So I feel like this photograph really captures that personality, and I'm really proud of it. I think documentary family photography can be really valuable in your life because, especially if you have kids or you have a niece or nephew or grandkids, just because kids grow up really quickly and they go through a bunch of different phases. A lot of times they'll be super into this one thing, and then maybe a month, a week, 2 months, 6 months, they'll be on to the next thing, and that phase will be gone. And it can be really easy to forget about those different things that a kid loves at a given time. So documentary family photography helps you preserve that memory, because these little things 30, 40, 50 years from now, when you're looking back on them, it's amazing how much we forget. We forget so many details and so many little things, and a photograph can just spark that memory and help you just remember that time, that event, or that person's personality. I also think documentary family photography is great because people get tired of posing. I hate posing for photographs. I just hate it. I'm not into it. I just want to be done quickly. And I know a lot of people out there feel the same. Not everybody really likes posing. And if you are just getting into photography and constantly trying to get your kids or your niece, your nephew, or grandkids to do a pose, or to stand over here, to smile while you play with the camera settings or adjust your composition, people are going to get tired of that really quick. When you take a more documentary style approach, it's less intrusive and bothersome. People can keep enjoying the moment. You don't interrupt the moment. You don't ask someone to do something again, or you don't say like, do this again, but stand over here. Oh, I missed it. Can we do that one more time? If the moment's passed, the moment's passed. And so documentary photography is just, you're in the moment. You're not disrupting the moment. You're not interrupting the moment. You're not ruining the moment. And people seem to be happier when you're just taking nice photos of them and they don't have to pose a bunch. Posing every once in a while, there's nothing wrong with that. But you don't want to pose 10, 20 times when you're just trying to enjoy family time. I personally know that I spent a lot of time worrying about whether the light is going to be good or it's perfect, or do I have the right lens or the right settings? Do I need a better camera? As photographers, sometimes we just obsess over these little things that really don't matter that much. I think that's what all these gear reviews play into. It leads us astray from what's really important. And what's really important is going out, getting better at composition, getting better at seeing light, getting better at using your camera, and getting better at capturing moments, predicting moments. That's what's really important. And that's what's going to bring you a lot of joy, is getting out and shooting. It doesn't matter so much what your camera is or what lens you're using. And I know to some extent that it can, but there's people taking amazing photos out there online with $100, $200 film cameras. Look up film photography on Instagram. Yes, some of those people are going to be using expensive Leica film cameras, but a lot of people are using really cheap cameras and they're capturing really amazing moments. And we forget that, and we spend way too much time focusing on things that don't matter. So I want to just create a space where we get back to what's actually important and talk about things that inspire us, so we can really be taking the types of photographs that we want to be taking. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch or listen to my video. If you have any questions or any comments, leave them down below. I will get back to you, I promise you. Don't worry about that. And then just as a closing, I'm gonna just play a few photographs that I've taken that were from the same photo shoot at the beach that I showed before.